Alright, thanks for joining us. Come on down, everyone. Straight back and to your left, that's where everybody will find their entrance.
I think everybody.
We've got a great time down there, and all about moving magic, folks.
Restrooms are located to my left of the escalators. There are no potty breaks on this tour, folks.
On the tram. There is no smoking on the tram.
Nope. I'm not gonna get glasses.
No, I'm not gonna get glasses either.
If you hold
No glasses. We're good. Here it is. Those are fifth row. No, fifth row, because the sixth row is the hot seat.
The hot seat? What's that?
Oh yeah, the electric. Wait, did you get my glasses? Yeah. Mommy has 4? All the way in the back.
Baby, may I have my water, please? Babe? Yes.
You guys want your water?
Hello, everybody. Welcome aboard. Please get on over to the right side of the tram if you haven't already. If you have any small children whose feet don't touch the floor of the tram, please make sure they're seated towards the center for their safety. And make sure you have a pair of 3D glasses. If you don't have a pair of 3D glasses, just raise your hand up in the air and hold it there, and a studio tour ambassador will bring you some. We need some up here. We need some 3D glasses up here. They're gonna bring them for you. Anybody else? Just raise your hand up in the air. Once they spot you, they'll bring you some.
You want your water?
Is everybody having fun today? Yeah? I got a very strong absolutely from the front car. That's good. Well, if you've been wondering who this lovely voice belongs to, hi. My name is Maria and I'm going to be your guide today, and I'm very excited to show y'all around a real-life movie studio. A lot happens here, so get excited. Right now, while we're sitting here, just waiting for our drivers to switch so that we can get on the road. On the right-hand side, you can see the beautiful San Fernando Valley.
You want it?
You can see some other major studios down there. So, I already introduced myself, but there's someone very important next to me, and that is our driver, Arvin. So I'd like for everybody to please give Arvin a big round of applause. Everybody, I can see you in all the cars, yeah. He deserves it. He's facing the road, I'm facing you guys. It's all up to Arvin. All right. Are we excited? Okay. Confident. Confident yeses.
Is it on all of it? Electric, so it wouldn't have mattered if it's on the back because the battery is where.
It's in this front car. It's the batteries right in the rest.
Is it poking you?
It is electrical.
Yeah, sorry.
There's a little cafe right there.
It looks like we are about ready to head out, so you can wave goodbye to everybody in line. We're gonna go see Hollywood. I'm gonna start off the tour telling y'all about safety on the tram. Woo! First, if you need guest assistance, or if you have a medical emergency, or if you drop something of value off the side of the tram, or have any sound or video issues, reach up and grab the red emergency cord that runs along the center of the ceiling of the tram, and I'll be back to assist you as soon as it is safe to do so. Otherwise, during the entire tour, please remain seated, keeping your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times. The studio is private property. If at any time during the tour you drop your phone or just can't wait to use the restroom, pull the cord and remain seated. Please no smoking of any kind during the tour. Be prepared. Our tour today features loud noises, sudden tram movements, fire effects, and many water effects. You'll want to have your cell phones and cameras out for great photo opportunities, but keep an eye on them so they don't get wet. Finally, for your safety and those around you, please do not use selfie sticks while you are on board. Put away that selfie stick. So this is a really special tour. We are celebrating our 60th anniversary of doing these tours. We've been doing this for 60 years now. So we have a few little extra special things on the tour, including a little introduction from our master of ceremonies and the host of The Tonight Show, Jimmy Fallon.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Fallon. Welcome aboard the world-famous studio tour. I know what you're thinking. Why the towns? Well, we're celebrating our 60th anniversary. That's right, 60 years of glitz, glamour, and our own great white shark. As we celebrate our diamond anniversary today, we pay tribute to Universal's past, take you behind the scenes to discover why this studio tour is world famous. So whether this is your first visit or your 60th, get ready for fun, excitement, and an experience like no other.
Thank you, Jimmy. Now I'm going to tell you all about the history of our studio tour itself. It all started on March 15th, 1915, when our founder, Carl Laemmle, invited the public into the studio to watch silent movies being made. Guests could walk from set to set and marvel at the new technology involved in filmmaking. But with the invention of sound in film and the need for quiet on the set, the original walking tour ended. I'm going to interrupt my spiel here just to say this is a real fire station on the right that you're seeing. We have our own zip code here, so we've got our own fire station. You can wave hello to one of our firefighters. All right, back to history. In the 1960s, under the leadership of company chairman Lou Wasserman and executives Al Dorskind and Jay Stein, the idea of reviving a tour of the studio returned when the Gray Line bus tours originating in Hollywood made a stop at our gates. On July 15th, 1964, the first of our red and white candy-striped glamour trams took 67 passengers on a 2-hour driving tour of the Universal lot, and the world-famous studio tour was born. We started with 2 drivers, 2 guides, and 1 ticket seller working out of a trailer on Lancashire Boulevard. From there, the studio tour expanded with fantastic one-of-a-kind Hollywood elements like the Burning House and the Rockside, which were in this area of the lot in the 1970s and 80s. Now this is it. We are currently in between the theme park and the movie studio, so on the right, you can say bye-bye to our friends Mario and Luigi. On the right, you're going to see the back of Super Nintendo World, and on the left, you're going to start to see a whole bunch of sound stages. So sound stages are these black and white rectangular buildings you're going to see all around the lot today. Sound stages were built as the silent film era ended, and we needed a way to hear actors talking. So they're not completely soundproof, but they certainly do get the job done. We have 36 sound stages here on the lot. These ones on our left right now are currently being used by the show Bel Air. It's a dramatic retelling of The Fresh Prince of Bel Air, the 90s sitcom. In fact, here are the stars of the show, Jabari Banks and Ollie Charlton.
We're leaving the theme park behind and entering the front lot where real Hollywood magic is made. How? Well, inside the sound stages that surrounds us, we can create any kind of environment the script demands.
For the past 60 years, studio tour visitors have driven right by these buildings, and inside these walls, the sets from your favorite TV shows and movies have transported audiences anywhere the imagination could take you, even to a palatial mansion in Bel Air.
When we film Bel Air, we love coming out of the sound stages and seeing the trams filled with excited guests as they drive by.
So, keep an eye out.
You never know who
or what
you'll see on the studio tour.
So true. You never know what you're gonna see. I don't even know. It changes every time I loop around, even within the same day, because we are a functioning studio, right? So movies, TV shows, music videos, commercials, all sorts of productions take place here. Those sound stages were once home to Superstore, starring my Latina queen, America Ferrera. Soundstage 14 here on the left is a really big one that we have on the lot, and it's where most of Cloud 9 was in the show Superstore. This area that we're driving through is primarily used currently for television. NBC and Universal's relationship with TV dates back to the opening ceremony of the 1939 New York World's Fair. That was our very, very first broadcast, and of course we've kept up with the times, and we have our own streaming service, Peacock, which we released in 2020. Coming up on the right, you'll see sound stages 16 and 17. That's where we currently film the show based on a true story. It's one of our Peacock originals. It stars Kaylee Cuoco, who you may know from Big Bang Theory, Flight Attendant. It's a really fun show. The premise of it, I don't have to tell you this, I just like the show. The premise of based on a true story is that Kaylee Cuoco and her husband, played by Chris Messina, find out who the local serial killer is, and then they're like, hey buddy, we know you're the serial killer, so either we're gonna turn you into the cops, or you can do this podcast with us. He chooses the podcast. Fun show. These stages were once used by Coach, One Day at a Time, The Jeffersons, Rutherford Falls, The Good Place, and on the right is our first celebrity appearance. It's the Minions. I believe I saw somebody in a Minion shirt who is in Carrefour, so that's specially for you. I see you. I don't see you now, but I saw you before. Now we are going to drive through the bungalows. The bungalows are production offices we have here on the lot where some of the top writers, producers, and directors in town will work their magic to develop ideas and to get scripts into shape. So, oh, and there's our friend Ted on the left. Ted, are you drinking a beer again? Okay, he's always drinking on the job. I don't know what his job is standing there, but it's something probably. So, like I said, these bungalows are home to many of our amazing writers, producers, and directors. A lot of the pre-production stage of filming takes place here. So, any production you see, there's been 3 stages for it. Pre-production, anything that happens before you go to set. So, writing, casting, budgeting, that all happens in these offices here on the left. The production phase, of course, is when we actually go into a soundstage, go to a set, and we film. And post-production is what happens after. So, like editing, for example. One of the companies that we have here in our bungalows is the Amy Pascal's production company. They have offices here. They're known for Venom and No Way Home. Mark Platt Productions has their offices right here. You may know them as producing Lionsgate's La La Land. And on the left here, you can see a balloon for their upcoming film Wicked, coming out November 22nd, starring Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo. If we got any musical theater fans on board, I know you're excited. I am too, don't worry. Michael Schur has his offices here on to our left. Michael Schur co-created Parks and Recreation, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Rutherford Falls. He created The Good Place. He's a producer on Hacks. He wrote on The Office. He is a comedy icon. Legend. I love everything he does. On the left here are sound stages 25 and 26. You may notice these look a little different from what we've seen so far, right? There are offices out front. So these are functioning production offices, just like the ones in the bungalows. So soundstage 25 is where we film Lopez versus Lopez, and then right next to it, sharing a wall, is soundstage 26, where we are currently filming an upcoming NBC comedy called St. Denis Medical. It'll be out on NBC starting November 12th. It'll be on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. So these are their production offices, and they're just connected to the stage where they film, so that's really exciting for them. It's all very close. We are jumping into a different part of the lot here, and Jimmy Fallon wants to tell you about it.
We're about to cross the imaginary boundary onto the back lot, where we have exterior sets for many outdoor scenes. Over the last 60 years, studio tour guests have seen these locations turned into big cities, quiet suburbs, even that guy's hometown. Yeah, that guy. For countless movies and TV shows. This is Universal's Metro sets.
Our Metropolitan sets can be used to represent any major city. Really anywhere where we would need an alleyway, a bank, a corporate-looking building, a park, a courthouse, anything like that. On the right, in fact, is the exterior for the hospital for that upcoming comedy, St. Denis Medical. So you'll be seeing this red brick and black windowy building on your TVs soon here on the right. But there's another set coming up as we make this turn on the left. Have you guys heard of the movie Back to the Future? We're gonna drive through Courthouse Square.
Welcome to the Courthouse Square. These sets were used to create Hill Valley in the Back to the Future films.
And they represented multiple time periods. 1985, 1955,
in the far, far distant future, 2015. To this day, this is one of the most popular sets on the Universal Studio Tour.
We had a lot of fun making those films here on the lot. I wonder what it'd be like to go back to those days. If only we had a time machine.
Hey everybody, do you think we can get this tram up to 88 miles per hour? See you in the future.
The courthouse square is so iconic, but as you may have noticed, it's been redressed for something else right now. It looks like a high school. So we definitely reuse and recycle all of the buildings we have here in our Metro sets. Do we have any Swifties on board? Any fans of Taylor Swift? Yeah. Oh, yeah, we do. This theater on your left is where she filmed the very ending of her Wildest Dreams music video. Jungkook used the same theater in his 7 music video. A lot of music videos have been filmed here in our Metropolitan sets. Justin Bieber, Billie Eilish, Lady Gaga, Pink, Eminem, even Michael Jackson have all been here to film their music videos. Another Swiftie fact, just so you guys, because you got a lot of woos, she filmed her Me music video in Soundstage 12 here on the lot. It was the very first one we passed at the beginning of the tour, so she's been around. Now, our Metropolitan sets are built with a technique called forced perspective. So, if you look really closely, you might be able to notice that some of the windows on the bottom floors are bigger, and they start getting smaller and smaller as you go up. That's an intentional way to kind of trick your eyes, so that when you see these buildings on camera, they're going to appear a lot taller than they are in real life. That's how a street like this can represent New York City in a film, right, or a TV show. Some episodes of Brooklyn Nine-Nine used our Metropolitan sets as modern-day Brooklyn. You can tell these buildings aren't really that tall, but they certainly do look it on camera. These buildings are also what we call facades. So a facade is just the front and sometimes the side of a building. As we make this left turn here, look to your left, and you can see how skinny that building is on the side. That's because there's not really anything inside of those buildings. Most of those are just used for exterior shots. So we come outside, we film, you know, the scene of the characters walking to work together on the sidewalk, and as soon as they open the door and they head inside, that's a cut to probably a different day where we spent the whole day filming inside of one of the sound stages. So a little movie magic. Now we are leaving New York City, the concrete jungle, and we are gonna enter the real jungle. What? The animals of Skull Island do not like flash photography, okay? Freaks them out. Freaks them out. You know, as we drive in here on the left, you can see 2 retired attractions of ours, the runaway train and the collapsing bridge. If anyone happens to remember those from the olden days of the tour, they're over there. Anyway, back to Skull Island. Please remain seated, keep your arms and legs inside of the vehicle at all times, and do me a big favor personally for me. If you're holding a phone in your hand, just hold on to it tight, okay? Thank you. King Kong 360 3D. That attraction was created by director Peter Jackson himself, along with the team at Weta Effects, who have won now 7 Academy Awards for their work in the digital space. So I think that's a really cool part of the tour to get to experience. Now we are going to get just another bit of a glimpse into our Metropolitan sets on the left. Would you believe me if I told you that all the brick you're seeing is not real brick? It's mostly all made of hard plastic and plywood. That makes it a lot easier for us to be able to change up the appearance of the sets. When a production comes to a lot like this and they want to film, they want to turn a street we already have into their own street, they're allowed to do things like paint it, you know, and add to it, as long as they return it the way it came. So yeah, these bricks here on the left, if you look really closely, you can kind of see they're not real bricks. Did you know Disney's Captain America First Avengers, starring Chris Evans, filmed here in our Metropolitan sets? It did. There's a really iconic scene of Chris Evans running down the streets, and he's barefoot. These are the streets he was running down. But, however, in fact, he was not barefoot. He was wearing shoes they made for him to look just like his feet. So if you go back and you rewatch that first Captain America film, definitely notice Chris Evans' feet. Not in a weird way, but because they're not real, they're just shoes. Here on the left is just a little kind of a park thing, just a fun fact. So remember Michael Schur, I was telling you guys about him at the beginning of the tour with the bungalows. He has an office here. He's a co-creator for The Good Place. He was here filming a show not too long ago, very recently, last couple months, with Ted Danson, who you guys may know also from The Good Place. They work together, and of course you might know Ted Danson from Cheers. So that'll be out on Netflix soon. It's called A Man on the Inside, and they were using our Metropolitan sets as well. I just remembered when I saw that over there because they were using these sets. Our Metropolitan sets are also where we build the obstacle course for NBC's American Ninja Warrior. Fun fact. I don't know, is that interesting? You guys like that? You guys like that? So a little something about Universal's history. We kind of put ourselves on the map as a notable film studio, something, you know, a studio for people to look out for, someone who maybe would make history one day. Back in the 1930s, and we made that history by creating our classic monster movies.
Thou shalt rise again.
So on the right, you're gonna see this mural. It was done by artist Tristan Eaton. He got his start as a street artist, so he spray painted the whole thing. This is just a beautiful homage to those classic monster movies. Universal really wouldn't be where we are today without these classic monsters. I'm sure you heard of some of them. Dracula, the monster of Frankenstein, the Gill Man, which is the creature from the Black Lagoon. Scary people, scary things, scary creatures. You know, if you like the spooky scary, we're doing our Halloween horror nights right now in the evenings if you want to get a fright. After the mural on the right, and I'm going to talk about it before we get there because when we get there I'll be talking about something else, but after the mural on the right, you'll see a very small little beige building. It's kind of just like circular. It looks really weird from the outside. It kind of looks like it's nothing. It's a very interesting little building we have. It's an underwater tank. It was built for Creature from the Black Lagoon, that the monster movie. You see him right up here. And it's an underwater tank, so it has these hatches on the side, and we can open up those hatches and they are windows, so we can just put cameras up to the windows and film actors underwater without having to go to like a real ocean or a lake or anything like that, because that's a lot scarier than swimming in a very small enclosed space, you know? The underwater tank is also where Kramer took a dip in the New York's East River in a very memorable episode of Seinfeld. It was also used for the comedy movie Ted 2. A lot of TV shows, including The Biggest Loser, have also come here and used that little underwater tank. So again, it'll be on the right, you'll see it, but it's just a little beige thing after this mural. But there might be something a little more interesting to you on the left. If anyone here is a fan of The Voice. The Voice! Well, we filmed The Voice here on our sound stages 30 and 31. On the left, you'll see a bright red V. Do you know who the coaches are for The Voice this year? Well, let me tell you. Reba McEntire, Michael Bublé, Gwen Stefani, And Snoop Dogg.
Hey, Studio Tour. It's your boy Snoop Dogg. Did you know that the Universal Backlot is home of The Voice? That's right. We tape right here on Stage 31. Don't miss our incredible new season every Monday and Tuesday on NBC. Heard the rest, you can hear the best. Who can be with the S and have this on your chest?
Snoop joins The Voice Monday, September 23rd on NBC and Peacock.
So The Voice films here at sound stages 30 and 31. And what's interesting about these sound stages is we actually don't have something in between them to make them two sound stages. So technically this is our largest sound stage here on the lot. It's 36,000 square feet. But the real actual largest soundstage by itself is soundstage 12. It's 29,000 square feet, and it was the very, very first soundstage. For those Swifties, if you remember, that's where Taylor Swift filmed Me. But these right here, 30 and 31, there's no gap. So it technically becomes our largest soundstage, so we can fit in a really big studio audience. So when The Voice is going, usually it's just filled with cars here on the left. And we see these big shuttle buses that they use to shuttle the live studio audience from their parking lot into here. And then you can see that tent there on the left, a little bit behind us now. That's usually where they'll set up their catering, their crafty for the crew and also for the live studio audience. They need to get fed as well. And then they'll set up chairs just kind of all around so that people can have a place to sit when they're not inside of the building. So, as we wait here, you can now turn to your right, and you can see the little weird beige building I was telling you about, that underwater tank. Pretty cool. Like I said, it looks very inconspicuous from the outside, but now you can see those hatches, so I'll just explain it again really quick. You can see that little window thing, so you just pull that open, and it's a window. You can film inside. And just after that, you can see some of that seating I was talking about for The Voice. This is where we have a whole bunch of people sitting out here waiting to be able to go back inside, but don't worry, they get fed, they get water, they have fans. It's all good, it's all good. Now on the left, you're gonna see the Hollywood Ocean. This is kind of our little lake, creek, river, ocean, pond, whatever we need it to be, we can film here. The Hollywood Ocean was used for The Creature from the Black Lagoon, one of those classic monster movies that I told you all about. You know, The Creature from the Black Lagoon is celebrating its 70th anniversary this year as we celebrate our 60th. But don't worry, the lake's been used for other happier movies too, or TV shows. If we have any fans of Desperate Housewives on board, the Hollywood Ocean was used a few times. In fact, there's a bit of an iconic episode where a car drives into a lake. That's the lake. I recognized it when I was rewatching the show. No one asked me how many times I've seen Desperate Housewives. It's a lot. But they filmed pretty much all of it right here on our lot. You know what's interesting about the sets that we have here on the lot, like I said, at the Metropolitan sets, those were facades, right? So most of those, they weren't full sets. So we film exteriors, then we head into sound stages and we film the interiors. But we do have a few what we call practical sets around the lot. So a practical set means that you can film outside and then you can open the door, head inside, and also film in there too, so it's fully functioning on the outside and the inside. We don't have too many of those because sound stages end up being almost better to film inside of, because sound stages, like I said, they're almost soundproof. They have really high ceilings. We can really do whatever we need inside of sound stages. Sometimes we even film exterior shots inside of sound stages. It's really amazing what the set design department can do when they go into a sound stage. I used to work on a TV show here in LA where we had a lead actress who didn't want to work nights because she had kids, and she was, you know, at a level where she was kind of allowed to ask that from the production. So what they would do when they needed to use, for example, this character's backyard at night, is they would just build it inside of a soundstage. We had the backyard on the lot, but we didn't really use it at night. We would build the same thing inside of a soundstage. And here comes my favorite department to talk about on the tour, which is the greens department. There's a whole department that every single TV show you watch has, the greens department, and their job is plants. It's fascinating. They will bring in plans to completely change up the area you're filming in, whether it's to make it, you know, a different area of the world. Here in LA, we have very specific trees and bushes and stuff that you may not find if you're filming something that's set in London, right? If you want to fake it, you would change it up. I was on a set a couple months ago where we were supposed to be in Miami, but we were filming here in LA, so the greens department brought this massive truck and 4 palm trees, like full Miami palm trees, not the little, you know, the little LA ones, Miami palm trees, and they really dressed up the area we were in and made it look totally different. So next time you're watching anything on your big screen or your little screen, your phone, I don't know, notice the plants around it, whether it's just a house plant, that could be a prop, or, you know, something the set dressing brought in, but oftentimes they are real plants that the greens department is taking care of. And I think that's a really cool example too of kind of like a look at what kinds of people get to work in Hollywood, right? I think when we think of Hollywood, we think of those really big stars, but there's like hundreds and hundreds of people who come together to work on movies and TV shows, and you're probably qualified for something to work in a movie or a TV show. I mean, the people who work in the greens department, they, you know a landscaper, you know somebody who works as a gardener, they would totally be qualified to work in the greens department, for example. You know, an electrician, they could be a gaffer, they could work in the electricity department of the set. We need electricians on set to make sure that everything is safe. If you know somebody who's really handy, who can do construction, who can build things, they could be what we call a grip, which is somebody who, for example, some TV shows, you know, will film something from one side and then we'll move and film from the other side. We can lift up walls, we can like make the whole set move, and the grips are so important for that. Sometimes the grips will like be under cars. If we're filming inside of a car, we're usually not actually moving, right? We're usually in front of a green screen and we edit in the movement later. But sometimes we have grips down there just moving the car so it looks like it's bouncing on a street. I like to highlight kind of the different departments that all work together to create all of your favorite movies and TV shows. There's of course set dressing, the art department. They, you know, establish the look of the show. They establish the period that we're in. They establish what the world looks like, the world that you're seeing on your screen. On your screen right now, you can see some of the worlds that Universal has created. The set decoration department works really closely, for example, with the props department. So a prop is anything that an actor interacts with or holds on screen. So if you see like a coffee mug on a desk, that was probably part of set decoration, but the second an actor grabs it, you now know it was probably the responsibility of the property master, the prop person who was on set that day. The props department can interact sometimes with, for example, the wardrobe department. If you are watching a scene where someone's getting engaged, that engagement ring is a prop. It's not part of wardrobe, but of course those two departments work together to figure out what the best ring would be for the storytelling for the show that we're in. But that's considered, you know, a prop. Wardrobe interacts with hair and makeup. The hair and makeup and the wardrobe of an actor, of a character, I mean, can tell us so much about this character and who they are, what's their financial status. Does this character take the time to give themselves a blowout every single morning, you know? It's fun to look at those little details, I think, when you're watching movies and TV shows. There's also a really interesting meeting I found out about. I worked as a writer's PA on a TV show for 2 years. The show just ended recently here in LA. And we would always have a meeting for every single episode called the Picture Cars meeting. So any vehicle that you see on screen is considered a picture car. So those cars are chosen very specifically to the point where we had a meeting for every single episode to make sure we knew which cars were going to be on screen. Whether that's, you know, a car that's just kind of on the street. If you're doing a period piece, you want it to look like the 1940s, for example. You're going to put cars on the street that match that vibe, that match that year, right? But sometimes picture cars can be fun. They can be kooky. They can be trams. Having fun. On the left right now, I mean, we can see some live production that is happening here today. We have people working It looks like a little blue car here on the left, probably a picture car. A fun little thing about the picture cars we have is oftentimes they're crew members' cars or background actors' cars that we just like switch the license plate on to make it look like the right state or the right country wherever we are. It's always fun to see that. Since we are sitting here, this is a good time for me to just let y'all know that our tour is approximately at the halfway mark. So just a reminder for everybody to please stay seated during the entire tour. The studio is private property. If you drop your phone or can't wait to use the restroom, pull the red cord to get my attention and I will be back to assist you, but please do remain seated at all times. So a little bit more on the set dressing and everything that comes together to create the worlds you see on your screen, right? Another key part of any movie or any TV show that I also like to talk about is the script supervisor. So that's somebody who is on set, usually sitting next to the director, next to the producer, and their job is to have a script in hand and they're reading along, making sure that the actors are saying the right lines, because sometimes the actor doesn't even know that they're saying a line a little off. They're saying maybe a different word, and that word could come back into play. Sometimes the writers know that that word is important, but the actor doesn't know that yet. So there's somebody on set just making sure that the dialogue is said correctly. It can be different in every TV show. Sometimes actors are allowed to be a little flexible with how they read their lines. But the script supervisor is also there to ensure continuity. Since we film so much of TV and movies out of order, it's really important to have somebody there to make sure that it all looks even, it all looks the same. This is exciting. We were waiting here to see if this was going to be possible today, but since this is a Saturday, I guess they weren't filming today. So we are driving into a soundstage here. It's a soundstage 50. Right now it's dressed up for a highly anticipated project. That's all I can legally tell you. Right now they've been filming something in here this last week and they're going to film a little more next week. It's set up to look like a subway station. Oh, in San Francisco. On the right it says welcome to San Francisco, so that's what I would guess. We can see some of the cameras and the lights and the director. That was so unexpected. Just kidding. You have just survived Earthquake, the big one. The attraction originally opened 35 years ago in 1989, but it just reopened this spring with, you know, a bit of a facelift. Here in Hollywood, you know, sometimes we gotta get a little work done on some of our stuff. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Mariana, you lied to us. We went in there, you said this was real. They were filming here last week. I lied. Sorry. It's fun for me. That's the only lie I tell, okay? Everything else is true. Now, we are gonna head into Amity Island. Of course, the world of Jaws. Now, I do have a little bit of a sad announcement, but also a happy announcement. Much like Earthquake got its facelift recently and rebooted, our Jaws attraction is also getting a little work done right now. It's been open since 1976, you know, it just needs a little boost. So it's kind of cool though, getting to drive by the Jaws attraction right now with it. Usually this is full of water and a shark jumps out at us. But we can kind of see a little bit into the practical effects and how they have things moving underwater here. So I think it's kind of cool to get to see that. The earthquake that we just went through was also an example of a practical effect, right? It's not done by a computer after the fact. Practical effects are done in the moment while we're filming. This area here you might also recognize as Cabot Cove from Murder, She Wrote, starring Angela Lansbury. A little bit of a different vibe from Jaws, but still pretty cool to see. So from this angle, just really fun to see there where the shark kind of is. It has its little trail. Practical effects can be used to scare an audience, right? Have a shark jump out at us, have us feel like we're going through an earthquake. But practical effects can also be used to change up simpler things. Like if we want it to be snowing in a scene, we're not gonna take a Hollywood actor somewhere cold. No, we're gonna make fake snow. If we want it to be raining, we have a way of making fake rain. Here to talk to you about weather in movies is co-host of the Today Show and weather anchor, Mr. Al Roker.
Time for my favorite part of the tour, weather. When it comes to film and TV, it is truly a special effect. In fact, to demonstrate how weather effects are created, we debuted our first major attraction here on the studio tour way back in 1968.
Out here in our old Mexico sets just for a little bit, and we're going to recreate a thunderstorm for you before that flash flood. So if we want it to be raining in film, what are we going to do? We're going to use lights for lightning, sound for thunder, and for rain, we are going to use something really simple, really. It's kind of a sprinkler system, much like you might have in your front yard. We just have the sprinklers up high so they can shoot the water up in the air and let it fall and just look like rain like that. Rain can set the tone, right? Rain can be sad, heartbreaking. Sometimes, you know, a character's really sad and they're driving home in the rain. That's so much sadder. Rain can set the tone to be romantic. I'm sure you can think of a beautiful kiss in the rain scene you've seen. No one's writing a kiss in the snow or a kiss in the sun. The kisses in the rain, they're so beautiful. Oh, and there's our flash flood. Over 10,000 gallons of water. Don't worry, it gets reused and recycled for every single tram that drives by. The flash flood was seen in my childhood classic film you can see on your screens right now, Big Fat Liar. Really nice. Lady Gaga also used the flash flood for her Judas music video. Lady Gaga stood there though and let that water take her on. Paul Giamatti here, he did use a stunt double, but I'm not comparing them, I'm just saying. Now we are gonna get just another glimpse into Amity Island, and as an apology, and you guys can't see the shark today, you do have a message from Steven Spielberg about the attraction itself.
The Jaws ride was almost the inevitable result of the size of the box office when Jaws first opened in June of 1975. And that was really the first time I ever got involved in the creation of a ride. It was a great honor to be invited into a creative circle of tremendous designers at Universal that were trying to figure out how to replicate what the movie had done to audiences in a real way by building a physical shark that would come out of the water and terrify tourists as they were sitting in the tram. And the most amazing thing about the Jaws ride is it is exactly as it was from the time it was first placed on the Universal lot. There have been tweaks, of course, over the years, but it is essentially what the designers and myself all envisioned and created. I'm done bashing the shark. Thank you, Jaws, for everything you've done for me. But I will say, consistently, the shark did work much better on the tour than it did in the Atlantic Ocean in 1974.
Yeah, the original shark they used sank really quickly the first day of filming because it was not made for saltwater. Y'all know Spielberg was not first choice director for that, by the way. They actually hired a different guy first. He did not know the difference between a whale and a shark. They fired him. Anyway, we're now in a residential area here. You'll see the Lion Estate signs. That's Marty McFly's neighborhood from Back to the Future. Did you know Spielberg was an executive producer on Back to the Future? And we are currently on Spielberg Drive. It's our longest road here on the lot. We find that to be appropriate considering our long relationship with him.
My entire career began with my relationship with Universal Studios just as a high school kid on a tour bus. Remember, in those days, there weren't trams, there were buses called the Gray Line Tour Bus. And I was so excited and thrilled to be on the lot. It was my first time ever on a movie studio lot. And during a bathroom break, I hid in the bathroom, and when everybody left to get back on the bus, I waited another 15 minutes until I'm sure the bus left, and then I had the entire lot to myself that day. And in those days, movie lots were so crowded because all movies were made on film lots. Today they're made all over the world, on locations, but most of it was focused in those days, in the 60s, on the film lots. So nobody noticed me when I was going around from soundstage to soundstage, and I really felt, in my own young way, I owned the lot and had the most amazing day of my life.
I hope you're all having the most amazing day of your life too, but don't try anything, okay? We have better security these days than we did when Spielberg was a teen. Don't do it. So like I said, this road that we're on right now, it's called Wilderness Road, but I said it's called Steven Spielberg Drive. I spoiled my own thing. It's also called Wilderness Road. Because if you look around, it kind of looks like we're in the middle of nowhere. So we're able to film those middle of nowhere scenes over here. So if you've watched, it used to be Fox, now it's ABC's 911. They did a pretty big limo crash right here in our Wilderness Road. Netflix's Never Have I Ever, there's an episode where Davy's on her way to prom and then they get stuck in the middle of nowhere. This is that, middle of nowhere. It's much easier to film middle of nowhere inside of a controlled set, right? Inside of a lot we have like this. It's even more expensive to go out into the woods or to go find something because productions have rules. So if you go more than, I think, a 30-mile radius away from your home base, from that TV show's home base, you have to pay a lot more. You have to pay for a place for your crew to stay and everything. So it's really important for us to make sure we still maintain spaces on our lot that can be used really versatilely. Anyway, that worked, right? You guys got that word that I was saying? Here on the right, you can kind of see it behind the trees maybe. Do you see just like blue? I'm hoping you see this like blue wall. I personally always feel the need to share this because I'll get to the point in a second, but One Direction was very important to me in high school. So from One Direction, the band, came the singer Harry Styles. You may know him. Harry Styles has a music video he filmed here on the lot. His Falling music video. He filmed it using this blue wall. This is Falls Lake. We can fill this with water and we can use that blue wall kind of as a green screen. So if you go watch Harry Styles' Falling music video, and I'm sure at least one person on board is really appreciating this, that's where he filmed it. Harry Styles was also here filming for Dunkirk once upon a time, so really important to me that I mention Mr. Harry Styles. On the left, you can see the crash site, just a little snippet of it. On the back cars, you'll see it as we drive up from Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds, but right now this area is being used for our Halloween Horror Nights. I think I mentioned it earlier in the tour too. So really fun stuff. If you guys like the spooky, scary, you can go to Halloween Horror Nights. Speaking of spooky, scary, the next place we are going to go, it's a little spooky. It's a little scary. We are getting ready to drive through the real sets that were used in Jordan Peele's Nope.
What's up, Studio Tour? I'm Kiki Palmer from Jordan Peele's film, Nope. What's a bad miracle? Well, you'll have to see our movie to answer that one. Until then, I hope you enjoy your visit to Jupiter's Clay.
Did you see a UFO in that cloud?
Yeah. No.
I ain't never seen nothing like this.
No.
Are you ready? Run!
Holy hell. No.
Hell no.
Jordan Peele's career path is so interesting to me. He got his start in comedy. He actually did a lot of sketches around this lot. Key and Peele, if you've seen their sketches, that was Jordan Peele. And he kind of took a hard turn into horror and thriller films. He's known for his films Get Out, Us, and of course Nope, which we will be driving through in just a minute. And what's interesting about this is Jordan Peele donated the sets to Universal to be used for our tour before the movie even came out. So the day the movie was out in theaters, we started driving through this on the tour, because that's how confident he was. People were gonna love that film, and I have to give it to him. You know, he knows how to make a good movie. He knows how to spook and scare. Jordan Peele is married to Chelsea Peretti, who you guys may know as Gina from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which is just funny, I think, to be two comedy icons, one turned horror like that. We really like our monsters here at Universal, our scary things. Head into the sets of Nope. Look around, it's really cool to see the sets, but also pay attention to the sound in here. This is a really cool example of how sound design can kind of affect your atmosphere.
Movie magic only happens when a team of collaborators, often in the hundreds, work together to take an impossible notion and bring it to life. This is Jupiter's Claim, a nostalgic, small-time Southern California amusement park owned by former child star Ricky Juke Park. Over there, look into the winking well and have your picture taken just like the kids in that old 90s movie Kid Share. That's what this whole place is loosely based on. Remember that one? No? Well, I do. A little further down, you can see the brand new Star Lasso experience, built to showcase an unbelievable new live show. It's not looking so live anymore. Anyway, behind this Hollywood fantasy of a gold rush frontier town lies a sinister secret. It is smack dab in the center of the UFO hotspot. Welcome to the world of No.
Sound design is so cool. I think it's a little underrated how much it can affect the movie or the TV show that you're watching, you know? What is an action film without the sounds of the cars screeching and the guns shooting, right? We need all of those kinds of sounds. So in just a minute, we'll be heading into a little bit of Fast and Furious, but just a little bit of a glimpse into some of Universal's iconic moments.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
What's the story? Well, there's this pirate. I'm sure Dad not written a word.
The problem most men have is they just plain straight up have no clue how to talk to women.
What's happening, hot stuff? Kind of cute as summer.
Thank you.
You got boobs, eh?
I have nipples, Greg. Could you milk me?
And this one time, at band camp.
Hoo-ah! Houston, we have a problem.
We're on a mission from God.
No! Gary Clarkson!
Boy, is this great! Hey, bud. Let's party!
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
He hates these cams! Come out, wherever you are.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Was only the beginning.
We belong dead.
What do they got in there? King Kong?
We're gonna need a bigger boat.
They opened Disneyland in 1956. Nothing worked. Yeah, but John, the Pirates of the Caribbean breaks down that pirates don't eat the tourists. Well, it's nice to find a fellow with a keen sense of humor.
Are you finished, Mr. Slade?
Well, we're finished with that video now. We are driving into Sullivan's Truck Repair from Fast and Furious. Hey, if you haven't heard me say it enough, here's another reminder. Please remain seated, keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle, and do me that favor again. When things really rev up in there, if you're holding a phone, hold on to it tight.
Hey, yo! They just got here. All right, I got it. Well, listen, hello, beautiful people, particularly you right there, missing the third row. How you doing? You good? My name is Roman Pierce. Pleased to meet you. My buddy Hobbs asked us to stash you, Shaw, for a while. So we brought you in our secret spot. We're having a few friends over. It's a little messy, but it's all good. The more the merrier. Especially you right there in that third row, like I was saying. So look, see over there? It's Hobbs' urban assault vehicle. Best truck the U.S. government can buy. That work of art back over there was made by my man Tej. Think of it as like a Mona Lisa on wheels.
Extra. So did you break it down to them?
What's that?
You had one job to do, Roman, one. All right, look, guys. We're gonna keep Shaw from finding you, but to keep you safe, we need your help. We don't want the syndicate tracking us here, so put away your cameras and turn off your cell phones. One flash or one ringtone can give us away.
I need y'all to take this real serious.
Okay, pull into the next bay and we'll meet you in there.
So like I was saying, the third row, right?
Okay, who's in the third row? Because he never says that. That's okay, you can show me yourself later. Just sounds like there's a bit of a party going on right now. Don't worry, guys. I'll let you know when it's time to put on those glasses.
That's right, party's over.
You know how long I took to iron this shirt, man? I'm not...
You're under arrest right now.
Ladies, let's back up a little bit. Got it. It's lightweight.
First of all, I don't work for you. Oh, really? Well, tell me, Roman, who do you work for?
We don't work for nobody. Cop, I suggest you clear out of here, otherwise we can't guarantee your safety.
Guarantee my safety? I'm the one holding the gun.
Yeah, but mine's a whole lot bigger than yours. Escort this novice out.
Let's go, Cookie Puss.
That ugly suit on, man. It's cheap.
Somebody out there really pissed off Shaw. It's gonna get ugly fast.
Yeah, don't worry. Lucky for you, our whole family will protect you.
Are you kidding me, Roman? You didn't shut off your phone, bro?
I gotta call you back. I'm in the middle of something.
See what I'm talking about?
Call you back. It was on vibrate. Shaw traced us. I'll get home forever. Letty, Roman, we're up. Driver, move that vehicle.
It's about to get real interesting.
My Mona Lisa's all warmed up right next door. Roman, grab your truck. I need you and Letty ready to roll.
Put on your 3D glasses and please no flash photography.
This is our turn. After them. Okay, guys, it's showtime. Come to the left. Letty, hook him up. I got to move my arm. Now we're moving.
Well, that was fast, but I'm not furious about it. You know what didn't go by too fast? This tour. Here's Jimmy Fallon one last time to say goodbye.
Over the past 6 decades, the studio tour has taken guests on an amazing behind-the-scenes look at a movie studio in a way that only Universal can. I hope that you had a great time today, and on behalf of everyone at NBC Universal, thank you for joining us to celebrate our diamond anniversary. Here's to another 60 years.
Thank you for celebrating 60 years of the studio tour with us. Our 60th anniversary is special to us because the studio tour is where it all began for Universal destinations and experiences. From 2 glamour trams traveling around the studio lot in the summer of 1964, we have developed into so much more, including 7 parks entertaining millions of guests every year and the upcoming Universal Epic Universe opening in 2025. I'd also like to acknowledge all of the studio tour ambassadors, drivers, and studio guides throughout our history who have helped make the studio tour world famous, from our first 4 guides and drivers to the hundreds of team members who support the tour today. To our past members, if we have any past members on board, thank you for being with us today. If you're not a past member but you're interested in becoming one, you can head over to the Universal box office, find out how you can upgrade to an annual pass so you can come back again and again and take my tour again and again, have a favorite tour guide, and it can be me. Anyway, make sure you've downloaded the Universal Studios Hollywood app if you haven't already. You'll find great info on there like park hours, wait times, mobile food ordering, and a map. If you're like me and you tend to get lost in theme parks, the app is really nice. The map is very helpful. If you're interested in any of the titles that you heard today on the tour, you can head over to www.uphe.com to find out where to rent, stream, or buy these movies and TV shows. And, well, what is an end credit without some bloopers, right?
Say something.
We did the tour. I grew up in Los Angeles, and that was like the place to go and see Jaws.
I got my introduction to Universal Studios through the tour, and so then to be in the movies and seeing the trams drive by, it's very overwhelming.
One of the coolest things actually about shooting for Universal is sometimes you get to shoot on the lot, and then you look over and it's like there's Jaws, or like there's the flash flood, and all those trams are riding around. It's the coolest thing ever.
1979. Back then, the tram drivers were kind of a little reckless, a little crazy. There was no restriction on cars going anywhere. We used to drive all over and kind of duel with them back and forth.
I have so many amazing memories of the lot when we were shooting Back to the Future.
Being here brings me back in time, I'll tell you that.
When the tram would come through, the tourists would see Michael J. Fox, and they're taking their camera, snap, snap, snap. So one day, Michael J. Fox had his own camera, and every time the tourists came through snapping their pictures, he ran out and he started taking pictures of them.
I was gone a second, I came back in, he let himself out of the playpen, put on Scarface, and he glued his hands to the rum bottle. Okay?
And did I steal his name? Why? Because, oh, he's centerpiece.
Hey,
by Mark Wahlberg. Shut up. What? Mark Wahlberg? He? Who else looks like Mark Wahlberg? Your girl? Mark Wahlberg's like 150 pounds. I'm 250 lean. I look like Mark Wahlberg ate Mark Wahlberg. Got a little bit of kick to it.
That's an attention getter.
All right, everyone. On behalf of myself, Mariana, our driver, Arvin, and everybody here at Universal, we want to thank you all for joining us today. I hope everybody had a lot of fun. I hope you learned something new. And I hope we have at least one future filmmaker on board who just got very inspired. I support you. I believe in you personally. Have so much fun for the rest of your day. I hope everybody enjoys their time in LA if you're not from here. And as we say in Hollywood, that's a wrap.
Oh, we can start.
They will come open the gates in just a minute, I promise.
Gotta open the gate. There's no 5 minutes. It's just a photo up. It's not really good. It's not like